Hey YouTube and Homestead and friends. I am going to do another quick little demo on some fiber stuff that I've been working on, and today I'm going to be cleaning some alpaca fiber, and I've got bags of this stuff and I'm finally getting around to actually cleaning it so I can get it up in my shop. But here is some that it is basically it's dirty. Alpacas are known more for being sort of like chickens, and the fact that they dust bathe, they roll around, they get very dusty. They pick up some vegetable matter, I guess, depending upon what kind of pasture that they have, but just dusty. This is not really have lanolin in it like a sheep's fleece does, but it still needs to be cleaned. I've spun some stuff that hadn't really been cleaned, and you'll see like the dirt on your fingers. It's kind of gross. You don't want that in your clothes. That's why we wash our clothes, right? So starting off with a clean fleece is pretty important. You don't really want to breathe any of that, especially when you're dealing with it in larger quantities, bugs. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons. We shower daily. These things are pretty basic. A lot of times people don't think about this as far as cleaning a fiber. They just think, oh, well, that's it, and you can just use it. You can, but you get a better result when you clean your fleeces. You're not struggling with the dirt and the vegetable matter or the lanolin that can actually inhibit your spinning, which can become problematic. A lot of times brand new spinners, I think, it's not that they don't know how to spin, because it's actually a fairly simple skill, but it's all about the preparation. It's like painting a wall. You have to pull everything away. You got to wash your walls, clean them really good, because if you don't, the paint won't adhere to the paint that's on the walls. You got to actually lift the scales of the paint, cutting in, all that before you finally get to the point where you can really just, take a roller and paint it. Kind of similar with spinning. Your preparations make a big difference. So I'm not just going to chuck this in water like this. I actually use lingerie bags. It just helps kind of keep everything contained and a little bit more manageable. I have this mesh kind, and then I have another one that is more like a fine net. If I can, a lot of times it's just like whatever I can find at the store, because they may not have what you like. I kind of like these better, because I feel like as far as the dirt, the sand, or the vegetable matter, because the holes are bigger, right, than this, that you'll be able to get more of that stuff out. The dirt is gonna pretty much kind of come off anyway, but you want to try and get as much out of the fiber as you can in the wash. So this is first step, is I'm going to be taking some of this fiber, and I just kind of pull it apart a little bit. I just want to make sure it's basically light enough and open enough, and then I just put it in a bag, because there's areas where it can just be a little bit compressed, and I don't necessarily, you want it to be as open so that the water and the soap can get in there to clean things, but you don't tumble these things, because you get felting and that kind of stuff. So that's step one. And then once I get this all done, I'm actually, because this is not a sheep's fleece, my preference is I'll wash it in my tub in the house, because it's just easier. If I do a really nasty sheep's fleece that just has a lot of nastiness to it and a lot of lanolin, it gets washed outside, and I have to do a more elaborate setup where I heat up some water, not boiling, I just warm it up, and I clean it outside, because I don't want to have the lanolin in my septic pipes, which I know some people say, oh, that's not really that big of a deal, but I don't want to push my luck. So anyway, step one. See you in a second for step two. All right, so now we're on to the washing part. I'm in my bathroom, and this tub here is a smaller tub. It's one of those plastic type slip-in shower and tub units. I would say probably this tub holds maybe 25 gallons. I don't fill it up that high, maybe to here. I'm guessing about 15 gallons is what is actually used when I fill this up with all the wool that I'm going to be scouring today, because it needs to have some space to move around a little bit. You don't want it super jammed in there, because if you do that, then it's kind of like a washing machine. If you overload it too much, the clothes don't get as clean. You have to have more water. So the soap cleaning agent that I'm going to be using is Unicorn Clean Power Scour. This stuff is the bomb if you have never used it before. Yes, it is a little bit pricey, but a little bit goes a extreme long way. So for all of this wool, I don't know how many pounds it is. I didn't weigh it. And for the amount of water that I'm going to be using in the tub, it's about, I'm guesstimating, it's 1 tablespoon per 2 gallons of water. So it's about 7 tablespoons of this stuff that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go from here to about here on my bottle. That's it. Okay. For all of that. 1 bottle will do many pounds of sheep's fleeces and alpaca, what have you. It's also a great refresher in your regular laundry. There's applications for that as well if you have tough stains, or like me, if you've ever watched any of my other videos where I complain about hard water. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this all started, and you'll see here in a minute how yucky the water gets pretty fast. So here's my tub. I hope you guys can hear me over the water. Pretty full. I don't like to get the water or the sheep's fleece or the fleece that close to the water, but we're starting off back here, and I'll just kind of slowly submerge the bags, and you can start to see already how much yuck is coming out. You want to try and be a little bit gentle. Anytime you wash wool, it can pretty well, if you're too aggressive, it will felt, unless you have something like I think it's a down, like baby doll and stuff like that. They tend not to felt readily. So as you can see, the water looks pretty clear over here. Pretty dirty already over there. Almost at what I'm guesstimating is 15 gallons. And it's warm. It's not hot. I would say it's maybe 90 to 95 degrees. A little bit warmer than me. Or a little less warmer than me. Alright. So we've got some suds, nothing major. But now all I do, and you can see how dirty that's already, I just kind of do like a little circuit. I try and move everything a little bit and get the bags to kind of take a journey within the tub. It helps to disperse what's dirty and what's clean water a little bit, and also the detergent. And I've got all the suds and stuff, which, like I told you guys before, I have kind of hard water, and look at those suds. So I'm like, wow, right? And look at how good of a job that it's doing. It's cleaning. The fleece didn't look, horribly dirty, but as you can tell, it's pretty dirty. So we'll be doing this, and what I do for my initial wash is it takes a trip around the tub once or twice, and then I set a timer. I let it set for about 20 minutes. I come back, I have it do another trip or so around the tub, and then I drain it. And then I keep draining it, or keep rinsing it until pretty much I have clear water. Now when you rinse it, I'll get more into this, but it may not just be one rinse, because there's a lot going on in here, and the bags aren't super full, but there's a lot of dirt and it takes a minute. All right, see you at the next step. All right, so this is some of the sediment that has come out. At this point, I am looking to actually rinse after the wash. So I'm putting everything into one of these Nina spin dryers. A lot of fiber folks use these. These are super great. I use it for my regular laundry as well. But you just basically take a few of your bags, put them in there. You do want to make sure it doesn't get too overloaded. It has this little safety thing in here. You put it in so that it doesn't spin out. This has got a safety with the handle. Sorry, I'm not focusing there. This has got a safety handle, so when you push this down, let's make sure. No? There it is. I apologize. I guess the handle doesn't matter. It's the lid. So when the lid is down, that basically is what shuts it, turns it on and shuts it off. So I'm just trying to get all the extra soapy water and stuff out. There wasn't a ton. I hand wrung a lot of it, but 2 of those, 2 times in this batch, and then this batch here. Clean out the tub a little bit, rinse it, and then start doing my rinses. And the very last rinse I do, I will use some Unicorn Fiber Rinse, and I'll show you that phase when I get there. So we're at the final rinse, and we're just going to do 3 tablespoons. This calls for a half a tablespoon per gallon. So I figure for the amount of water that I'm going to be using, 2 tablespoons does it. Sets up a little bit, but it really helps with making the fibers stretch and release when you finally start pulling them apart to actually draft them, or the cardboard, whatever it is that you're going to do. In between batches, like I think I mentioned earlier, that I was using the skin dryer to really get all of the dirty water out. There's no point in having dirty water back into your, into your clean rinse. You want to try and rinse it as quickly and efficiently as possible. Don't waste time, don't waste water. And I'd say pretty clear. Pretty clear. Don't use dirty fleeces, guys. Get them clean. Okay, so here we are, after it's all been cleaned. So I'm going to take some of my original from the bag. And you can see all kinds of dust, whatever, coming off of it. So there is the dirty. Let's see what the clean looks like in comparison. This is wet, granted. Let's see if we can go ahead and do a little bit of a close-up here. But that is your clean, and right next to it is the dirty. A lot whiter, I would say, a lot more sheen, a lot more luster. Yeah, it's still got some, you know, vegetable matter and stuff in it, but it is clean. It is completely clean. So this will go back into my original bag, and we will do the next batch of this really nice white alpaca. It's gorgeous. And I have a little drying rack that I will show you here in a minute how I dry it. So let me back up here. This is what I use for drying my fleeces. It's a vegetable air dehydrating contraption. I don't know the right word for it, but it has all these like little shelves. And I have it in my basement because we run a dehumidifier down here, and I just don't want to have this stuff. This fiber is so fine, it can kind of just get whipped away. So basically what I do is I will see if I can do this one-handed. I probably won't be able to. Okay, so here we go. I take my bag and I usually throw it up on one of the top ones so it can dry. And then I just take the fleece when I have two hands available and I pull it apart, and then I push it out across the whole space here. There's a lot of square footage here for drying. I'll probably, with what I washed today, only use maybe three levels or so. And within a day or so, it'll all be completely dry. So that is how we scour fleeces, some fine fleeces around here. I hope it was helpful for you. Don't mess around with dirty fleeces. Get them cleaned. You don't need all that junk in your lungs. You don't want to, you know, you're going to end up ultimately washing whatever you make out of it. So start with something that's clean. So when it's a final product, it's nice and clean, and then you can, you know, you just use regular detergents for your woolen wares and stuff. So anyway, hope it was helpful, and remember, you are the gold. Take care. Bye.